As strange as it might seem, there really is no standard definition for a robot. However, there are some essential characteristics that a robot must have, and this might help you to decide what is and what is not a robot. It will also help you to decide what features you will need to build into a machine before it can count as a robot. A robot has these essential characteristics. Sensing. First of all, your robot would have to be able to sense its surroundings. Movement. A robot needs to be able to move around its environment. Whether rolling on wheels, walking on legs, or propelling by thrusters, a robot needs to be able to move. Energy. A robot needs to be able to power itself. A robot might be solar powered, electrically powered, battery powered. Intelligence. A robot needs to be, to some extent, smart. This is where programming enters the pictures. A programmer is the person who gives the robot its smarts. The robot will have to have some way to receive the program so that it knows what it is to do. The first electronic autonomous robots with complex behavior were created by William Gray Walter of the Burton Neurological Institute at Bristol, England in 1948 and 1949. The first digitally operated and programmable robot was invented by George Devil in 1954 and was ultimately called the Unimate. This ultimately laid the foundations of the modern robotics industry. Various techniques have emerged to develop the science of robotics and robots. One method is evolutionary robotics. Another method is developmental robotics, which tracks changes and development within a single robot in the areas of problem solving and other functions. As robots become more advanced, eventually there may be a standard computer operating system designed mainly for robots. From 1700 to 1900, the automaton creations was founded, and even the mechanical duck was firstly introduced. In 1954, the first ARM-programmed robot was created. Then in 1969, the USA used the latest robotic land human on the moon. 1997 was the year that artificial intelligence was embedded into the robots, and these robots were able to compete in activities such as chess, for example. In 1999, animals robots were created, and a dog robot was manufactured and was very successful at this stage. In 2004, robots were developed and started flying and shooting film at the same time without the need of guidance. Obviously, robots are very precise and efficient compared to a human. In other words, they can be much more productive in a much shorter time. They don't take breaks nor sleep. They work at a constant speed, with more repeatability. When it comes to safety, it can be discussed in the advantages section and the disadvantages one. But looking at it from the point of view of benefits, it can perform dangerous tasks instead of a human worker performing it. They can lift heavy weights without the risk of injury. Alongside with that, they can work in poor and hazardous conditions. As mentioned before, robots save a whole amount of time. They also reduce the amount of waste material. Due to their accuracy, in the long run they have saved huge amounts of money in the long run, as they bring quick return on investments. It is apparent that robots initially cost huge amount of money to develop and program. They require massive supply of power and electricity. They have cost thousands of people their jobs. In other words, they have replaced many workers in certain fields, especially industrial fields. They need constant maintenance to keep them working efficiently and avoid any systematic failures. They can't handle sudden/unexpected problems as well as humans do. They lack emotions, thus can't be motivated, and all the advantages that come with it. It might seem weird mentioning Karl Marx and robots in the same sentence, however they have so much in common. Karl Marx was a very famous German philosopher and economist, and so many other things. Marx dedicated most of his work to understanding capitalism. His work was often related to labor and connected to robots in a certain way. In one of his writings way back in the 19th century, before robots developed fully, he said, "The increase of the productive force of labor and the greatest possible negation of necessary labor is the necessary tendency of capital, as we have seen. The transformation of the means of labor into machinery is the realization of this tendency." As if he anticipated the current situation. Robots these days are used almost in everything around us, especially in the industrial sector. They are used in the agriculture industry such as crop harvest, and even in animal grooming and care. Robots are even used in construction such as welding and floor finishing. Healthcare, for example, is one of the sections that robots is used in. Assembly lines and packaging are done these days also using the aid of robots. Robots are also found in our homes such as cleaning and monitoring and entertainment. Robots have many uses and many harms. There are many controversies surrounding robots. It is not yet clear if in the long run they benefit society or they harm it and harm the labor market. We will leave that for you to decide. Thanks for watching. By Ahmed, Abdelsalam and Ali Abdel Kawi.